Tres, dos, uno, vamos! Welcome in, finally up against the real dealio Bant here. Alright, ready. Opponent, thank you, and we're in. I'm keeping this nice 5-lander actually, solid 5-lander. It's got a Vent and a Blighted Fen. Obnixilis, welcome in, much love. Trav here, shout out to you. If you're a Magic the Gathering player, enthusiast, gamer, what have you, whatever. We are playing with the Black-White Planeswalker deck, which got me. I'm gonna wait on the Transgress the Mind, probably. Could have played a tapped land there, but there's. I just want. You want to wait on discard card spells until the turn you have to play it, because you get more options that way. Since the opponent isn't yet on 3 mana and has no counter spells, and we have a tapped land and nothing to do on 3 and language on 4, there's really no reason to transgress right now. In fact, transgressing now could result in something flipping. We don't want something to flip. Yes. Ooh, another vent. Good draw. I don't mind being very flooded. Print screen. Ready to go. 2 companies, a queller, and a tireless tracker. So it's gonna be a good game. That's for damn sure. Um, I'm going to probably take a company just to make things easier on us. This is gonna be a tough hand. Probably will take the company. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the company. It's just gonna make it easier on us, and it should be a good game. In the finals, shout out to the opponent for responding to Twitter bat signal, because I know everyone wanted this matchup. We're gonna play best 2 out of 3 matches today, hopefully. So, our opponent here, Plains, not really the best, not the best. Gonna ship. Could have played. Actually, maybe should have. Actually, I think I should have played an untapped land and maybe attacked with a shambling vent. That could backfire into Dramoka's command super badly, though. Um, in the finals, in the top 8, in the semis, I had a Bant opponent play. Wow, that's really good for us. Thank you, opponent, for making that line. I realized there's multiple clues happening, but this way we have 2 options actually. We can Obnix, we can Oath. It seems like we just want to clear the board. I don't really care about the opponent having extra counters. Um, it's just clues slow them down. So, um, yes, clues are slow. Whatever, I don't care. I know the opponent can company or clue, but we can probably Obnixilis and plus it, and they might not be able to kill it on the next turn, especially if they don't draw land this turn. Well, super good for us, really good. Uh, I don't think the opponent is necessarily like punting, but um, but we're able to get a planeswalker down and get a 2-for-1 here, so that's pretty good for us. Nice. And if we're able to protect our Obnixilis, then we can run away with the game. That's going to be tough with Coco. Yeah, in the semis, the opponent went Collected Company 4, 5, and 6, and we won that game. The Bant matchup is good, but it can be tough. It's possible to lose the long game, and games in general go long. Gonna plus. We've drawn a Liliana. So we've got a few options here. We can pass the turn and use Blighted Fen. I'm not sure I want to do that. Or we can go Oath and Liliana, which will give us the maximum chance of protecting our Obnixilis. The opponent is going to go Collected Company here, and they could Coco into a Reflector Mage, which would make playing the thing bad. Sylvan Advocate. The safest play would probably be just to. There's 2 lines. Like, playing another Obnixilis is not a very good line. I kind of like just passing and using Blighted Fen. That actually has a decent chance of keeping our Obnixilis alive. And the next turn, even if we lose our Blighted Fen, we will still have 6 mana to Liliana and Oath. And like, we can get so much more value this by waiting. So I'm just gonna hope the opponent, yeah, doesn't get there. I mean, maybe they do, and they didn't. So We got lucky that they bricked, or they don't have a good list. I mean, some of them just go too thin on creatures because they want to play Tameo and Avacyn and Ojutai's command, and then they brick on Collected Company, and this happens. Obnix can run away with the game. So at this point, we know the opponent has Spell Queller. That's about all we know. They have a Spell Queller, and that's all we know. Let's see what they have. Duskwatch is fine. Um, Interesting. I'm going to go for an Oath and see what happens here. They could Queller it, and that would be interesting. If they Queller it, we'd have a few options. Either way, I like our spot. We might not need to go. Okay, yeah, so we've got a lot of options here. We could either Ruinous Path to kill the Queller, and then um, that could be good. Or we could Ob Nixilis just to kill the Spell Queller and save our Ruinous Path and play a Liliana. I think I'm going to do that because we have another Ob Nixilis coming, and it's not like this one has tons of loyalty. And I actually really want to save Ruinous Path for Awaken. I actually lost the final game because I was dead set on using the Ruinous Path. But as a general rule, I think it's correct to like try to awaken as much as possible, especially in this matchup. If you can wake up a Shambling Vent, it becomes very easy to win. Transgress the Mind. We have enough mana to transgress and Obnix, so we'll 100% do that. Spell Queller is acceptable. And we can Obnixilis. And kill the Spell Queller. Transgress the opponent's mind. Opponent does have clues, so they can get back into this game on cards. Oh, cool. They've got 2 trackers and an Avacyn. I think I'm going to take the Avacyn because it's the most annoying at killing our stuff. So the opponent has 2 trackers. So we've got some game left to be played because they've got clues and they've got trackers. We can start going aggro. We've got 2 zombies. We've got an Obnix. We've got Ruinous Path, which we can wake up a Shambling Vent. So, see if they play a second tracker. Not a bad play, I don't think. Solid play. Maybe we draw Languish and just make this game easy. Read the Bones. I like Read the Bones, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to wake up a Vent. Worth noting that it's a 1-1. The opponent can make it a 3-3. I want to be able to double block. I just want to protect Liliana. So I generally sideboard out Liliana just for more sweepers. And that's really my only change. And of the 4th Read the Bones. I don't know if that's correct, because Liliana does actually win games. But it very, very rarely kills anything. Going inside to get hydrated. It very rarely kills anything. So I'm not a huge fan of it. That's how I've been sideboarding. It's possible that I can go like very, very well in a matchup and still be doing it wrong. So if you think that that's wrong, let me know. Reflector Mage the Vent. Pretty annoying. 100% to Read the Bones right now. And I like Gideon. I don't think we want another Liliana, because this one is very close to ultimate. 3, 4. Gonna play Gideon and make a knight, and next turn I would probably emblem it. And then I'm considering using the Ob Nixilis just to kill Tireless Tracker. Oops, I'm not gonna do that. I should have done this in a different order. And I'm going to shrink that and play Event. It would have been worth minusing the Obnix just to maximize the chance of Liliana ultimate happening. It is also worth noting that we're at 11 life, so we could die to some Avacyn shenanigans, possibly. That's basically the one way I feel we could lose. So this turn, I really want to gain life with the vents, if possible, on this turn. Gain, yeah, well, opponent scoops. To Liliana Ultimate. Maybe I shouldn't be siding this card out. I just don't think it's that good. Bring in a Read the Bones, and I usually will bring in another Outburst. Maybe I'll leave a Liliana. I used to bring in Linvala until I played it when I didn't have the game locked up and it was just a flyer. We were tied at 10 life, and the opponent had Yavimaya to pay extra life, and it was like a Linvala versus an Advocate in a Lumbering Falls, and I was like, this is not even a winning position. So I stopped bringing it in, and then I used to bring in Kalitas, but it's just outclassed, and they can Reflector Mage it. I don't want to make their Reflector Mages better. And then I tried to bring in Duress once, but I don't like it because usually they'll have 4 collected companies, they'll maybe have a Tameo or 2, and they'll probably have 1 to 2 Clash of Wills and Negates, and maybe a Dramoka's Command. But, I mean, they're pretty much playing 25 creatures, 25 lands, and then maybe up to 10 spells, so it just doesn't make sense to bring in a bunch of stuff. Do we need to play best 2 out of 3 matches? Maybe. I don't know if I have the battery life for that. I might just call it after 1. Come and sit in the shade with me. Some people ask, yo, Trev, how do you walk around outside? Wi-Fi and a lightweight laptop is a killer combo. So was this hand a keep or a mulligan? I think it's a keep. It only has 2 lands, but the spells are good. If you have good spells, then... If you have good spells, then you don't even necessarily... I'm going to transgress right now. I want to get it off now because if the opponent has like Queller and things could get annoying. Interesting. I'm going to take the Collected Company because we can kill the Tameo with Ruinous Path, and Collected Company is a little bit more annoying, I think. And the opponent's not even guaranteed to have creatures at that point. Yeah, you can keep 3 landers if you've got things to do on 2 mana, because even if you miss lands, you don't automatically lose, because you actually have stuff to do. Grasp it. And if the opponent plays Tameo, we can just untap and Ruinous Path. And then we're not behind at all. If the opponent has creature, we can kill it. I really want to just see the opponent play a Tameo. That's the last thing I wanted to see. So, best possible draw is an untapped land. By far. Actually, Oath is pretty close to the best possible draw. I would say it was as good as a land. Because now, our next land unlocks Gideon Oath combo. Opponent's not connecting with Tameo, and we still have a kill spell for it. Tameo, come on, play it. Just throw it out there. Nice. Opponent thought about it and is thinking better of it. Or is just fixing their mana. Yeah, so, I mean, they're losing their Planeswalker. We're entering the mid-game at 18 life. It's a pretty good place to be. We could play Gideon and get a bunch of pressure out just to kill Tameo. But the opponent has Lumbering Falls, and I would rather just get rid of that. So let's just get rid of that. And we're in a pretty good spot to use these Read the Bones for life. I kind of just want to see the opponent attack with Lumbering Falls, ideally. Signal they've got nothing. They have 2 cards left. Don't really want to see Sylvan Advocate that bad. Alright, Lumbering Falls. No problemo. We can set up a brick wall with Gideon, and then at that point, we could also transgress here. I think Read the Bones into transgress would be very greedy and risky, and I just want to get Planeswalker advantage. I don't like transgress because the opponent, if they had a 4 mana spell, probably would have played it. And it's possible we transgress and they're holding Negate or Clash of Wills, and then it's like, why the fuck did we do that? That was super bad. Caves. Okay, I am going to transgress now. See what's up. They do have a Negate. So I'm going to cast Read the Bones, and they can negate it, and it's annoying. But that's why I'm very glad we cast the Gideon while we had the opportunity. Negate, and we could plus an attack, which I'm going to do. The reason being is we know the coast is clear. We're probably going to be able to protect it. We're almost 100% to be able to protect it. Um, and I want to get the Anthem, so we have 3/3s to deal with the 3/3 falls. We'll play a rematch after this because, okay, gonna go for Read the Bones, and we've got Grasp of Darkness up still. I'm actually gonna bottom both of these. They're both good, but we can do better. Ultimate Price. Get an emblem. And I'm not going to attack this turn because I want to protect Gideon for one more turn. We could attack, but we probably should have attacked even. I don't know. It's unclear. There's a Dusk Watch. Alright, so opponent's going to get back in the game with some extra cards. Maybe I was supposed to play a removal in response to that. Opponent gets Tireless Tracker. See if they play it. I hope they do, because I think they've already played a land. And we can just take off both of these and then attack. Oh, they hadn't. Alright, well, they're out of cards, and that's at least good news. Gonna grasp that and kill one, untap, kill the other. I'm gonna, at this stage in the game, I'm going to Grasp of Darkness. It's always a tough call, I don't know. Opponent, we win the match. Shout out to Gorilla Body. I'd like to play best 2 of 3 matches. How do we private chat? Re-challenge. One more. Let's pull up the deck list in the meantime. I think this is a reason to play the deck. Challenge me? Challenge me, okay. Alright, we'll play a third if we lose the match. I just figure we are like 75% to win. Maybe not. Mulligan that one. So we could go to 5 or gamble on this. I prefer to gamble on hands like this rather than going to 5 because this hand is pretty good if we draw lands and we have the scry. So before the mulligan rule, I would have 100% mulligan that. After I actually like this, okay. Didn't draw a land, but we don't automatically lose. Jesus. So there is. We definitely want to leave the spell quellers. I'm going to take either the. I will probably take the tireless tracker. I'm going to take the tracker. I just don't care that much about the spell queller and leave the reflector mages. Don't care as much about the tracker. So we draw a land here. We are way ahead. Like way ahead. We're way ahead if we draw a land. Actually, I guess I take that back because it flipped and the opponent can spell quell this. But, I mean, whatever. If the opponent spell quellers this, then they have 2 reflector mages, and we're gonna get way ahead when we untap and Ruinous Path the spell queller. If that gets reflector maged, then we won't necessarily have time to draw out of this, and maybe I would have wished I had gone to 5. Don't want to see Coco. The opponent could have just drawn that. You never know. Okay, gonna go for Ruinous Path. Even if the opponent has drawn a counter for this, we're not necessarily dead. And we'll cast the Oath. Cast Oath. Spellcore is not actually that impressive against us because it usually, like, it very rarely lives. Okay, opponent did not have Coco. And go for Read the Bones. Hopefully this resolves. If it doesn't resolve, then... Ooh. See what they have. Nissa and Selfless Spirit are both good, but the Nissa's not going to flip. The Read the Bones is going to resolve, and neither of those deal with Languish, which is coming. So I still like our spot. Basically, I'm going to bottom anything that's not a land. Even these are very good, but we just want lands so badly that I'm going to bottom them. And I'm really glad we did because we still didn't draw lands, And if we had to wait 2 extra turns, then we'd be super fucked. As is, we're in trouble because we're gonna take 7 from the lumbering falls, and we might just die this game. Thank God the opponent didn't attack. Gives us a much, much greater chance, although we're still, we're fucked. Yeah, we're fucked. We're going to die. We're dead. We can languish, but we're still dead. We can Gideon, but we are still dead. Gideon, we're dead. So, we lost. Maybe I was supposed to mulligan to 5 there. I don't know. Unclear. Stick to the plan of cutting a couple lilies for a couple sweepers. I think I'm gonna go to 4 languish since Selfless Spirit was good that game. Whenever Selfless Spirit is good, I want to. They're less likely to side it out, and maybe we want more lilies in that case. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I was supposed to mulligan to 5. Hard to say. I'm not gonna mulligan to 6 on this one because it's similar. It puts us in a similar position to last game, but we've got more early plays, and it's just once again the potential for a great hand is there. I think I'm gonna pass the turn so that we can grasp the 2-drop. If the opponent has no 2-drop, then this would backfire potentially, but that's pretty rare. And this way we can wait on the transgress and get to see one more card. So let's see if we could draw a land. We did draw a land. We could transgress or we could read the bones. I'm going to transgress, and if there is a spell queller, I'm going to take it. Fuck. Definitely should have played read the bones in that case. I'm going to take 1 spell queller. And yeah, we could lose. I definitely should have played read the bones in case the opponent had 2 spell quellers. Although we can still draw lands and be in good shape. Read the bones, see if the opponent quells this. They probably should. Alright, now we have to draw a land or a removal spell, but our deck's full of them. We've got 26, maybe I should go to 27. Really don't want to lose. Hoping to see Tracker and just sweep it away. Really hoping to draw a land, because otherwise Elder Deep Fiend can seriously fuck us. If the opponent just plays a land and then Deep Fiends, we're actually in okay shape. If we draw neither land nor removal, alright, land and we're going to win this game. I was in this position in the Grand Prix. Fuck, that's some bullshit. Alright, well we can take Deep Fiend and we still have another turn to top deck a land. There was a Jace. It's possible to lose the Bant matchup. This is one of the ways that it happens, is you just have multiple games where you don't draw lands. Or multiple games where you're badly stuck on lands. Definitely possible to lose. This is one of the ways I lost in the Grand Prix. We're still not quite dead yet, though. We're still not quite dead yet. It's non-lethal, and based on what the opponent has, Languish should still potentially get us out of this. If we just draw a land. There's 7 damage coming. It's non-lethal. The opponent has a Jace. Don't care about it. There's Nissa. Come on, fucking land, man. Pound that thumbs up for land. Subscribe for land. Pray to Harambe for land. Harambe. Harambe. Land for Harambe. We still win this game, probably, if we draw a land. Because Read the Bones comes off. Land for Harambe. Come on, land. Fuck, it's a tapped land. Well, we're dead, so we never got to 4 mana the entire match. That's one way to lose. It's possible that mulliganing is correct. We'll play again. One more. challenge me. It's possible that mulliganing both of those was correct. So you can let me know what you think. I definitely also playing Read the Bones probably would have won that game. I should have thought that about the opponent having multiple spell quellers, and how we could lose that way, but um, I don't know, whatever. There wasn't any money on the line, just lots and lots of pride. Just a lot of pride. All right, yeah, man, that would have loved to win that. We could say, hey, we got unlucky, which we did, but there was still a lot that was under our control. I'm gonna continue with keeping a two-lander because we have a play, and we don't need to hit another land. And our deck is about 50-50 lands at this point, so we are likely to get there, and we did this time around. So, in for one more tough match against Bant Company. Try to pull this thing out. See if the opponent has a Jace, has no creature, which it seems fairly good for us. I think I'm going to play a Swamp here so that we can grasp, because we want to. Our tapped land can probably come down on turn 4 without slowing us down too much. Yeah, Read the Bones. If I had played Read the Bones before Transgress, I think we would have won. Alright, by the way, I think the opponent is going to have multiple collected companies this game. Otherwise, why would they keep this? I'm going to Transgress, which would have been good last turn. Probably will get Quellered. Whatever. The next turn, we can do some cool stuff. We've got a few removal spells. See if the opponent has a fourth land. They've got to. Fourth untapped land. Alright, so we're going to need to deal with company. Interesting. Transgress you. So company's going to happen. We can't stop that. Another Queller is interesting. Alright, maybe there's no company, just a bunch of Quellers. Transgress you. Another Queller. Main deck Deep Fiend. I'm going to take the Deep Fiend. We can beat the Queller, but Deep Fiend is such a tempo blowout. I don't have a lot of removal spells for it in my 75, so it's really good against us. Okay, Vent is a great draw. I'm going to go for an Oath. I actually hope it gets countered. Alright, or rather I don't mind that much. So the opponent, we're going to have a big turn next turn. Because unless the opponent has drawn Elder Deep Fiend, and even then we can still get through this, and I very highly doubt they draw more than one. And that also explains how they got collected company screwed earlier on. Is like if you play Elder Deep Fiend and cards like that, you're just less likely to get there at all. So we can go either Ob Nix or Ruinous Path, killing this Queller. Interesting. There's a Dusk Watch. Interesting. Read the Bones. So I'm going to definitely Ob Nixilis minus. I'm going to Ob Nixilis minus. And I'm going to get an Oath. And we're going to get a zombie. We're going to cast Oath. Cast you Oath. And see what the opponent picks. Duskwatch in response is fair. I hope they bin the Queller. Reflector Mage. Well, either way, we're going to lose our Ob Nixilis. Actually, I don't really care. The opponent can sacrifice whichever. I'd like to cast Transgress, but it doesn't matter too much because we'll be able to kill the thing the next turn. Okay. And we're going to Transgress. Cast it on you. Take one of these Reflector Mages. The opponent has a Deck and Stone and a Reflector Mage. I could easily forget about that deck in stone. So the Bant Company lists I've seen have been switching from some Dromoka's commands to deck in stone because it's much better against Ishkanal, which is a big part of the metagame now. So the opponent goes for the deck in stone and is going to take out our Ob Nix. Although what this means is if we draw a land, we didn't, but if we drew a land, we would have gotten Sorin advantage. Go for Read the Bones. Although regardless, ultimate prices, we can keep one or neither. Definitely we don't want both. We can price that Duskwatch and then keep a Grasp for something. I think that would be okay. Nah, but we have Ruinous Path also, so I'm going to bottom both. And yeah, we kind of want lands. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. Do we want a Ruinous Path or Grasp? I'm going to use a Ruinous Path because I don't necessarily see playing multiple stuff. And the opponent can try to pull ahead here with Duskwatch. I really wanted to land, but oh well. And it looks like the opponent bricked. That's not super uncommon. It's definitely like feels bad when you go for Duskwatch and you brick, but it's also it just happens with the deck. Interesting. So we've drawn a Grasp, 100% to Sorin. The choice is whether we -1 or we -2, or we just plus. I actually think that I'm just going to plus because we've got the Grasps and we've got the Ruinous Path, and I don't see losing Sorin as a real thing that could happen. And um, it's unclear. I think probably -2 would have been correct. We don't necessarily want a -1 because if they Dromoka's command, we could lose a bunch of loyalty. See, the opponent goes for us or for Sorin. Go for Sorin. This way we can untap and we can -1 or just draw extra cards because we've got all sorts of extra removal. Okay, there's a tireless tracker. It's gonna be a grind. And we know about a Reflector Mage also. So, yeah. I'm going to start off with a Grasp on the tracker. And I'm going to -1 on the Spirit. If they have a Dromoka's command, I will use a removal spell. Oh, they don't. They have Reflector Mage. Okay. I might have used a removal spell and plus Sorin instead, but I want to get Gideon down and just win the game. Let's just close it out. Okay. And we will go into match or game 2, up a game. It's not possible to lose from this unless we get disconnected or you like draw an extra card multiple times, like cheat. We're just way too far ahead. I guess I'm going to Emblem. 2, 3, 4, play another Gideon. Keeping up Grasp mana to kill an Avacyn. Maybe I should have emblemed again. To get our creatures out of Avacyn range. But we've got Grasp, so it just can't happen. And the opponent isn't playing that card. By the way, I think the opponent could have won this game by holding up Deep Fiend. Or by using Deep Fiend on the 4th turn. Maybe. We're just not good at killing that thing. Okay, there's Coco. I don't know what could possibly be Coco'd at this point, though. Reflector Mage is whatever. I'm gonna Grasp. I guess the opponent could like try to somehow go for the kill. Reflector Mage and Knight. They're at 5 life though is the thing, and we've got 2 Shambling Vents. Reflector Mage. They only have 6, and we still have a trick ready. So, it doesn't seem super good for them. But props to continuing to play. Props for battling it out, bro. Attacking Soren. I'm gonna grasp this Reflector Mage. Soren goes to 1, sure. Untap. You're gonna concede. Another Reflector Mage. We could have so many ways to win. We could languish and then attack with Gideon. But I want to go for the Soren kill. It's really satisfying when that happens, and we did. There was a game at the Grand Prix I got very lucky where I just plussed Soren a bunch. I'm going to put in a second Anguish Unmaking because I'm scared of Deep Fiend. And I'm going to cut the Lilianas for the same reason if I just don't like him that much. If the opponent is playing Deep Fiend, maybe I don't like Read the Bones as much, the fourth Read the Bones. Maybe I want another Outburst. Probably do. I just would rather have a land than a Read the Bones. I'm going to try that. So like, if the opponent has Elder Deep Fiend, then we are more likely to just lose on tempo, and whereas Read the Bones wouldn't be that good, and we really just want to hit lands, and we should probably have 27 lands anyways. Speaking of, here's a hand we can mulligan. It can't cast anything, and it is super painful. It has 2 Read the Bones and it has a Grasp. This is extremely borderline. I'm thinking about cutting because even if, or mulliganing, even if we draw the land, it's still going to be painful. We're on the draw with 7 cards. We don't need to Read the Bones that bad. This is very, very close hand. I think I'm going to mulligan. Fuck, that's why you keep. And now we're on 5 and just are in horrible shape. Battery is low. I think I was supposed to keep the first one. That's the first time I've double mulligan with this deck, by the way. And one of the reasons why is generally I got rid of the third land because it doesn't cast Grasp. Maybe I should have kept it. By the way, one of the reasons I haven't mulliganed to 6 is because I just keep. Nice. I haven't mulliganed to 5 is because I keep 1-landers on 6. I keep almost anything on 6. Reflector Mage, not a very good start from the opponent, but this definitely indicates, and I'm going to Read the Bones here. Fuck it. Well, we can. 4th and 5th land. We definitely want a 4th land. I don't know that we need a 5th land. Ultimate price. So we have all the removal we need. We don't have any planeswalkers to pull ahead. And the opponent has a Lumbering Falls, which tends to be one of the best cards against us. I hope to get Deep Fiended here. Did not. I think I'm going to pass the turn because I want to play both Grasp and Ultimate Price. In this turn, we need a 5th land to play 2 things. Coco, hope there's a brick, and there's just 1 creature. Dahlia. We could gamble and try to languish. I'm definitely going to Ultimate Price the tracker right now. And I'm considering waiting on the Grasp because if we're going to win this game, it will really help if tracker. Yeah, it will really help if we just get extra cards. So I'm going to take an extra 5 damage here and languish, or an extra 3 damage to keep the Grasp. That could come back to haunt us because of that Lumbering Falls, but when you mulligan, it helps to have extra cards. Negate. Holy shit, definitely should have grasped. I hadn't considered, I forgot about sideboarding. And now we're just dead. So we're actually dead on board. Alright, down to game 3 for all the marbles. I haven't really played perfect this set. On the play, I do want the 4th Read the Bones. And I don't think we need the second Anguish Unmaking as bad. Man, I wish I had played better and it had gone better. I did go, again, something like 8-1. It might have been 7-1. I think it was more than 6-1 at the GP. Lots and lots of Bant. For our final hand, I will keep this. It is not bad. I'm definitely not going to mulligan again. It's got, the opponent keeps two, so we'll have a good one. It's got a few removal spells. It's got Planar Outburst. Um, and now we have a Planeswalker, so it's pretty decent. I decided to go for a tapped land there, which ends up, I don't know if it's correct or not, but it ends up being fine. There's a Grasp. We've got a lot of removal. So we'll see if the opponent plays something, but there's a good chance we're going to have a Gideon advantage, and uh, interesting. So the opponent is missing their land drop and discarding. They discard a Deep Fiend. I was going to not play Gideon here because they probably have negate, but since we drew a second Gideon, yeah, we still could have waited, but since we drew a second Gideon, it's like I will just put down the second Gideon. Second Gideon, is this good? Opponent has drawn a land. We're not anywhere near guaranteed to win, but we're definitely in good shape with, although we can only play one removal at a time. They didn't draw a land. There's another Gideon. So I'm going to grasp that rather than ultimate price, which could really hurt us, but my reasoning is we can play two ultimate prices in a turn, but not two grasps. Actually, maybe I should have ultimate priced because this is the turn to play two ultimate prices. Yeah, that was probably fucking wrong. Yeah, that was the turn. We wanted to play two ultimate prices and get down a Gideon emblem, so pretty loose play all around. Like, don't think I've really played great. We've got a few options. We could Anthem. I think I'm gonna ultimate price, which I should have done last turn, and I'm going to attack for 7 because the opponent is very nearly dead, and I want to force them to collected company during combat if possible. Okay, they have Coco. So if we Gideon, the opponent needs to Coco into Reflector Mage to have any chance, and even in that case, we can clean the board, and we can make it so they're just dead. Or we could Anthem and pass the turn and play two removal spells. I kind of like just saying, bro, you have to have it. You have to get lucky right now. And even in that case, we can sweep with Languish, so I'm just going to go for it. I don't know if that's right, but make the opponent get lucky, and even if they get lucky, we still have decent chance. Advocate and a Dusk Watch. So I'm going to ultimate price that one just to keep their board empty, and I don't think they can get out of it at this point. So Bant is a close match, and you have to play well. You don't have to play that well though, as you can see, but it's possible to like kind of X and O if you play super good. But I didn't necessarily do that. There's an Oath. With the opponent at 1 life, we could Gideon again. But I think the opponent is another collected company. Alternatively, we could make a 2/2 and pass the turn with Anguish on making up. I don't really like that very much. We could -4 Gideon. I don't want to get hosed by Reflector Mage this turn, and this turn it seems like we don't need to as much. Because we have the Sweeper coming next turn. And with the opponent at 1 life, making a token gets better and better. So I'm going to make this play, pass the turn. Um, Things could go wrong. It would be tough. So let's see what they hit. There's the Reflector Mage. So this time I'm glad we didn't attack. And there's a Dusk Watch. I'm considering Anguish Unmaking, but I don't care if the opponent uses Duskwatch. Hmm. And we'll see if they attack. Okay, very interesting. We need to be concerned about Avacyn, and we need to be concerned about Spell Queller. 1 to 20, the game's not over yet. We could end of turn Anguish Unmaking the Duskwatch Recruiter, which I don't mind, and then attack with Gideon. Or we could make another 2/2. We could untap and Languish, but then it could get Spell Quellered. There's a good chance of that and be super annoying. We have... I'm gonna Anguish Unmaking the Duskwatch. We have extra resources. I just don't know. Sometimes you just have to make a play. If you don't know, you just make a play. Right. Transgress is a perfect draw because we just get to figure out exactly what the opponent has. And we have Oath to follow up. Hmm. Interesting. So there is Avacyn, which I'm aware of, but that's not going to do much because we have Oath. So there's 2 Spell Quellers. I'll take one of the Spell Quellers. That was such a good draw. And then we can Oath, and the opponent sacrifices, and Avacyn would flip, but it doesn't matter because they have to chump block with Avacyn. Nice. Well, in the end, the opponent got mana screwed 1 game, and we got mana screwed a couple games, so I would call that a wash. Oh, damage is prevented. I forgot about that. Fuck that up. So we don't win. We don't win because we're going to lose our Gideon. And they have a Spell Queller. How could I have played around that? Definitely fucking this up. By making an Anthem is one of the things we could have done. So what does the opponent have? They've got a Duskwatch and they've got a Spell Queller that we know about. The good news is we can Planar Outburst. Caves of Koilos. Planar Outburst. 3, 4, 5, 6. Cast this thing. The opponent's still at 1 life. Get an extra card, and we've got Gideon into Languish at 17 life. The opponent almost dead. Such a good game, such a good series. Matchup is so hard to play. Such good magic. I love the matchup. Win or lose, I love the matchup. The opponent chose not to Duskwatch, instead going for a clue. That was probably a mistake by the opponent, minor one, because they've got extra mana. They could have afforded to do that. So they have Spell Queller up. 1. Could attack with the Shambling Vents, but I'm going to go for Gideon. He's going to get Spell Quellered. Whatever. We have Languish. We've got Blighted Fen. Unless there's a second Spell Queller, it's not a big issue. And ship the turn. We're still at 17. I really want to see the opponent just push with Lumbering Falls. They probably won't do it because we have Shambling Vent. They still have insane draws, Collected Company. Could draw another Avacyn. Would have a very hard time dealing with that, but I think it's super unlikely they have 2 Avacyns. 2, 3. One way we could lose is, yeah, definitely, 100% should have Anthemed Gideon on the indestructible attack. I forgot how Avacyn worked. I thought the opponent had a chump, and that would have let us just be attacking with Shambling Vents. So, far from perfect. Reflector Mage, interesting. And no attack. Opponent is playing it safe. They played the Reflector Mage because... Wow, do they have another Spell Queller? Wow, we might actually lose the match. We might actually lose the matches. Would like to win, would definitely prefer to win. There's an advocate. So the opponent could also attack with Lumbering Falls. It's on the fucking edge right now, though, because it's like we draw any removal spell for that spell queller and the game just ends. And we can attack with 2 Shambling Vents, so the opponent needs to leave back at least 2 creatures. But they could attack for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on this turn and put us on like 1 to 2 turns of top decks. Interesting. So they have 2 blockers. We draw a swamp. 3, 4, 5, 6. Pass the turn, and now it's looking like we're going to lose. How did I go 7, 8, and 1 in this matchup? Well, I didn't play great in these games, I think. I think I have an edge in paper that no one sees. I think it makes sense to chump block at this point. 1, 2, 3. Extend the game for another draw. About to lose 2 lands. Make you sack a creature. And still be able to top deck a land or removal. Shambling Vent. Down to our last draw step. 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down to our last draw step. 1 and 2 against Bant, man. It feels really bad. Well, I hope you learn from this anyways. Okay. Go for a block. I feel like the Lumbering Falls was safe to attack there. Come on, top deck. Tireless Tracker. We have insane top decks. Ob Nixilis. Read the bones. Read the bones. Oh, is this getting countered as well? Wow, we lost. Insanity. GG's. Well, I think that I didn't play well and we didn't run great. And I took it down at the Grand Prix, so... I mean, that is a lot of Quellers. I'm out. Kind of curious what we would have drawn. Well, we wouldn't have got there for a while, so... win or lose, that was good Magic. It's good exercise. Make your brain think. I don't really know what to say about that. You can comment whatever you want, I guess. But I still think the matchup is... You have to play well. That's pretty clear. It's possible to win. And maybe we didn't... I don't know. Nah, I'm bamboozled. Leave a comment below. Much love. Thanks to our opponent for playing. Thanks to all of our patrons. And let me know what you think. I'll see y'all in the comments.